Hey guys, Eric Kyle here, publisher of Great Lakes Scuttlebutt magazine, and I'm excited to be down at the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show right here in beautiful sunny South Florida. I'm having a blast, guys. It's the boat show of the year for me. So while I'm here, I get to wander around. I'm looking for some exciting new products and boats to report to you guys on. And if I found something that's absolutely going to blow your mind, I'm here with my good friends from Manitowoc Marina and Axopar. We've got Connor and Rich from Manitowoc. And your first name again?
Jan Eric.
Jan Eric. From Axopar Marina.
Axopar, yeah, from Finland, all the way from the cold country as well.
Nice. Rich and Connor, Manitowoc Marina, you guys have been with us for a long time at Great Lakes Scuttlebutt. I'm sure a lot of our readers and viewers know who you are. Why don't you introduce us a little bit, Rich, to the products that you guys carry there?
Yeah, so of course I'm Rich Larson, I'm president of Manitowoc Marina. We're proud to be the Great Lakes dealer for Axopar and Brabus Marine boats. These are great, innovative boats. Out of Finland, and excited to be here with Jan Erik Viitala, who's the founding partner.
Outstanding. And Connor, you've been working with these boats for a while now. What do you think?
Absolutely. They are absolutely the most innovative product on the market, what I call a true industry disruptor, and it's so fun to educate our clientele, both down here and up in the Midwest as well, for the whole Great Lakes territory. They've been doing great for us, and great factory support to be here with our partners at Axopar.
You know, something that I've noticed, and a lot of people, when these boats came on the scene, they're like, oh, what's up with the bow? They're so skinny. How are they going to feel out on the water? And all of those concerns just got washed away as soon as somebody took a ride on the boat, Rich.
That's right.
Why is that?
Well, it's the design. Maybe Jan Erik can speak better to that because he's the expert.
Well, Jan Erik, tell us a little bit about the engineering design that goes into these boats, because when they first came on the scene, it was a culture shock.
Yeah.
But now they're everywhere. Everybody loves them. Why is that?
Well, I would say the whole success of Axopar comes from that we've been doing successful brands in the past, and we gathered a lot of knowledge from building other Scandinavian brands in the past. Mm-hmm. So more or less all that skill set that we had accrued over years, we just wanted to make, let's make one great boat and use all that skills and knowledge. So from there comes more or less a philosophy of making lightweight boats, of making modular boats that are very focused on having a very low silhouette, so you create less windage, but also in that sense, when you have a low silhouette, you also usually shed some weight, so the boats are also more lightweight, and with lightweight you also get a cost efficiency in it and a fuel efficiency in it. Yeah. So in that sense, there are so many things that you have to do in order to make this concept work. You can't just have a straight bow, you just can't have a stepped or aerated hull. You need to do all of these things, and you need to know exactly how to make these things in order to make it work. Yeah. But that was the truth. So in 14-15, first time coming into US, our company was founded in 2014. The first question was, there's no South Carolina flare or North Carolina flare, depending on when where you're talking.
Right.
How do these boats will stuff? They will be running wet, and this is absolutely contra what these boats actually do.
Yeah.
It's again, because of the handling and the center of mass even on the boat, that they are very neutral in planing. There is no planing threshold. They run very smoothly no matter what speed you're doing. So you can easily be doing any speed. You know, the worst speeds usually are the 8, 9, 10, 12, 14 knots.
Right.
These boats handle perfectly slow speeds, and they really track straight even at these speeds, and you never lose the visibility over the helm because there is literally no planing threshold. And the 45 is like the latest product that we made, and this now incorporates all the latest skills we've accrued over time building Axopars, not the previous brands.
Right.
And in this boat particularly, I'm really proud of seeing how a 45-foot boat doesn't even handle like a 45-footer. It feels like a 35 sport fisher to handle and drive around, and also the performance is there. So yeah, that's about the concept. And gradually, when we have more and more boats out on the water, and the sea trials are probably the number one selling points of an Axopar. So when we get the people on the boats, they really understand what the whole concept is all about. Then spending a bit more time on board, so not just being 1.5 hour on board. The more time you get on board, the more you start finding small details that just work.
Yeah.
And that's what makes a functioning concept. You can't see everything on your first glance. So coming back and the third time even, you're getting slowly into the world of Axopar and into our philosophy of boating.
Yeah, these boats are so well thought out. Rich, there's 2 new models of the 45, correct?
That's correct.
Okay,
That's
tell
correct.
us a little bit about the difference between the two, because we're sitting on one that's the coupe model.
No, this is a cross cabin.
Cross cabin.
So this is the cabin. I think it's probably going to be our most popular seller up in the Midwest because we can enclose it in the cold seasons, which is
Right.
spring and fall. What's great about this boat is if you look at the sliding doors on the side, we can in the rooftop, we can open this whole thing up just like you're out in the open, and then it has the balcony out on the side, so you can open this up. People can swim, come in, relax, and communicate amongst all their friends. And now when you're out cruising, like it gets on Lake Michigan, it can get cold.
Oh, yeah.
The wind's coming out of this direction and it feels a little cold, but you want to keep the fresh air. You just shut this side up. This side stays open. You got some fresh air. So it's so modular that you can do whatever you want to do. And as far as the seakeeping capabilities, we were fortunate that we delivered our first 45 yesterday in Manitowoc to a second boat Axopar couple.
Okay.
And when Brad had them out on the sea trial yesterday, he had 3-foot seas on Lake Michigan, and he was running at 50, and he said it was just like nothing. He said no other boat can handle that kind of sea at 50 knots in a 3-foot sea on the choppy Lake Michigan. It's beautiful.
Well, these definitely cut through the water. You're not bouncing as much, which I noticed for sure. So really, you just got to go for a ride on the boat. You'll understand it. Connor, maybe you can tell me a little bit about. So the boats are narrower than traditional boats.
Yep.
As a result of that, the going back and forth has got to be a concern for some boaters. Do you have a seakeeper or anything like that on these boats, or
So
how do you deal with that?
The 45 is available with a seakeeper.
Okay.
We've had inquiries in the past with our 37s, 28s for that capability. We're really challenging our customers to go ahead and experience the boat without them.
Right.
Because once you're out on the boat, it's really like nothing else you've ever experienced in the industry. As Jan will tell you, the hull design itself is actually meant to mimic a rib inflatable. That's where they kind of started at the drawing board. So you get very wide chines at the stern. That gives you a very stable ride, gets you up out of the water very quickly. As you said, there's no planing threshold. So you're really riding very high in the waves and really riding, as you'd picture it, kind of crest to crest as opposed to displacing a lot of water that you would on your conventional hull design.
And in addition, I would probably say, so I started with talking about the center of gravity and the low windage. So when we're talking about stability at anchor or rolling, we are actually being helped by the same concept in not really needing a seakeeper or any either gyro on the boats, because when we have a low weight, we actually don't create any sort of pendulum effect by the boat's movement on its own.
That's a good point.
And again, with a low center of gravity, we also don't get that excessive roll because the center of gravity is very low.
Yeah.
And in that sense also, so the only movement you get in a wavy situation, or if you have a boat passing by creating a wake, is that the boat only wants to roll over the crest of the wave, and then it stabilizes immediately.
Yeah.
So in that sense, exactly as you said, even me as a factory, I really don't want to have complexity on the boats. I'm more of the guy that wants to have things that work and are easy to operate and easy to service. So for me, even asking of a JPO, I'm a non-JPO guy. I want to have the traditional steering because I also like the non-complexity of boats. And gyros, air conditioning units, all of these always are something that requires servicing.
Yeah.
And that's actually why we also created the whole concept with the cross cabin, that can we make a cross cabin boat that doesn't need air conditioning? Now we're sitting outside. I think it's going to be in my Finnish Celsius temperature, like 30 degrees here.
Right.
We're sitting here without air conditioning. We have just enough shelter on top, but we can already, move the doors around so we get a breeze inside here, and it doesn't get, warm or humid inside. That's the same with the front cabin with the gullwing doors as well.
I saw that.
That's something that we really wanted to change, because we actually had customers asking, can we have a boat without a front cabin? Because there's just, we don't use them anywhere. And instead of doing just that, we created the gullwing door concept on the 37 and the 45, just to get the sun in just enough to create this sort of nice sensation being inside of the front cabin. So you're getting the light, but you're getting a lot of air inside and all around the boat.
It's almost the difference between driving a minivan and driving a Ferrari.
This is.
I mean, honestly, that's kind of, you're low to the ground, you're experiencing the water, you're experiencing everything that's happening while you're underway. You're not 20 feet above the water just splashing around like you're on top of the water.
That's an absolute precise analogy that I use with a lot of our customers first experiencing the Axopar products, is they are truly a sports car on the water.
Yeah.
It gives you driver feedback. It'll take you through corners, through apexes. You can talk automotive through a boat product, which is so unique, and it just, it hugs the turn, gets you right up. You don't lose momentum like you will on a typical center console or typical hull these days. So very unique.
Rich, I love the appointments on this boat as well. Now, we've talked a lot about the performance of the boat. You don't need to be scared of it being skinnier and with a weird looking nose, all that kind of stuff. No. But the appointments on this boat, this is luxury that's well beyond a lot of the other boat brands that are out there. Talk to us a little bit about the thinking that went into, or Renz, maybe you can help us out there. Yep. A little bit of the thinking that went into the appointments, the outfitting on this boat.
Well, I can probably start, then you catch up on the things I'm missing. But the full idea actually started with the development of the 45 started with our open range of boats, and we just wanted to create a very centralized, good seating area in the middle of the boat, not in the stern, not in the bow, but actually like creating a heart in the middle of the boat. And then after that iterations, we come up with the balcony doors, and then we start thinking, okay, balcony doors should be standard also on all our hulls, because we do very modular boats. So the hulls and the structure underneath are always identical, no matter what boat model you're buying. So that actually put up the biggest challenge for us, that how can we make a cabin boat that should have a balcony door, because usually a balcony on the outside, you don't use it for anything. And that's how we came up with the off-sliding doors. And because we came up with the off-sliding doors, then the whole layout became completely turned around. Why we then also were able to incorporate a wet bar inside of the boat, because now you have the boat fully open, you can actually do some decent cooking inside of the boat, because you're having the big sunroofs and you're having the big doors, and then you have a very nice center area to also have in the cross cabin because of those doors. But then in addition, what we also wanted to do is that we wanted to have some more modularity, so the table is actually moving around. So if I want to have the table more comfortably as the dinner seating, I can just move the table on rails. I can also move the whole center console, the whole wet bar closer also, in order to have like a really comfortable setting around here. And then it also actually creates a more space for me to have 3 persons seated forward, but you can have 3 persons behind leaning against the wet bar. So you have 6 persons looking forward as well. So, and especially we're now on the flagship 45. So on the 37s, the 29, the upcoming 29s and the 28s that we've been selling, we have a lot of US customers that when I've asked them, what do you take from the camping world as the closest relative if you have to describe an Axopar?
Sure.
And they go immediately and say, you are the 4x4 Sprinter van on the water. So we're not creating these big, heavy mobile homes that go slow. We're the ones that go out in any weather. We're the ones that go out a bit further. We explore a bit further. So that Sprinter van analogy is actually working pretty well. But of course, now we're on a 45-footer. So we made it a bit more accommodating.
Rich,
and that's the nice thing about
areas.
the 45. That's the nice thing about the 45, I think, for our market, because as you know, Eric, up on the Great Lakes, we like to travel. It's not just day boating, which is very important. But so many times that people take these long weekends sometimes weeks and even a months-long trip. The 45 gives you the ability to do that, particularly if you get one with the aft cabin and the forward cabin.
Yeah.
Man, you can take your whole family out.
There are
have a good
different
time.
sections to the boat.
Yes.
I noticed there's a beautiful back section that you can fit 8 people back there comfortably, having drinks, meals, whatever, be able to engage with going on and off the back of the boat. Fantastic. Then you've got this enormous midsection of the boat.
Yep.
Another cabin section down below, and then even forward of that, there's another seating area. So, I mean, you can fit 30 people on this boat. It's just
not even gonna be
amazing.
cramped.
Yeah, it's just absolutely amazing. And when you see it from a distance, you think, oh, that's a skinny, long boat that, you know, probably get 4 or 5 people on it. But when you get into it, the thinking is amazing.
And it's actually coming back to that when you revisit an Axopar, you will always find out things that you didn't realize on the first time you were on board.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
how the gradually the Axopar way of thinking grows on our customers, and why they end up loving the boats in
That's right.
A good friend of mine down in Ohio ended up recently buying one of these, and he works in the industry. And I know if a seasoned professional like him is buying an Axopar and he loves it, drives it every day out on Lake Erie in all kinds of conditions, you can take heart that it's going to be the boat for you. So Connor, tell me, if I can't make it down to the Fort Lauderdale show, shame on me. Where am I going to go online to find out more about Axopar and Manitowoc Marina, which is the authorized dealer in the Great Lakes area for this boat brand?
Absolutely. So you can find us online at manitowoc-marina.com. And also, our winter show season is right around the corner.
Yeah.
We're only 60 days away from that.
Had to remind me, didn't
Yeah,
you?
yeah. So as soon as we get back, we're switching gears into that. But right after the new year, we're going to be in downtown Chicago, the Chicago Boat Show. Right after that, we're moving to the Cleveland Boat Show, so we'll be there as well. And then our final stop on that 3-week tour is the Detroit Boat Show as well.
Right, and we can always come down to Miami in February and see you
Exactly
guys down there
for
as
sure.
well. Guys, thanks so much. I really
right.
appreciate it. Beautiful boat line, great dealership. I appreciate your time today.
Yep.
Manitowoc Marina Manitowoc-Marina.com is where you want to go, guys. Find out all the information about a great dealership up in the Great Lakes area and Axopar and their new flagship 45. Thanks for joining us today, guys. We'll see you out
All
on the
right.
water.
See ya.
Thank you.